There we go.
Hello and welcome to the webinar today. We are excited to have our guest speaker, Becky, here with us. Very excited to have Becky. Becky will be speaking on using Piano Maestro with your favorite method. We're very happy to have her. Just a little bit about Becky. Becky likes big hair, and she has a studio bunny that sits at her feet. While some of us have studio dogs and cats, Becky has a studio bunny. Some more serious things about Becky is that she studied music performance and had plans to become a lawyer, but chose the music side of things. So we're glad that she's on our side. We're happy to have her. She currently has over 400 students and has been teaching over 400 students for over 20 years. She's familiar with lots of different instruments, has a wide range of background in music, and Becky, and the best way I can put it is that Becky is the music technology guru. She knows it all, and she's been using it for the past 20 years and has seen all the changes in music technology, so she knows the best stuff out there, and we're definitely happy to have her here speaking about Piano Maestro and her favorite methods. Becky, I'll turn the time now over to you, and once again, welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you so much, David. I have my notes like right over where the little flash is for my camera. So if you see me looking up over the camera, that's why, because my notes are up over the camera. I thought it would look kind of stupid if I kept looking down at my notes, so I tried to put them up high. So anyway, I really just want to take a minute to thank JoyTunes for doing this. This is a tremendous opportunity for all of us. When I first approached them to do a webinar on the FABER method, because it's not in the app, and we're going to get into that later about why, I started kind of putting my notes together, and then I had a chat with them because they asked me how the progress was going, and I was like, it's great, you know. And so we started, you know, kind of putting it together. JoyTunes has been so helpful in trying to organize it and package it for us. They've been amazing. So if they were here and they were listening, and I hope they do eventually, big round of applause for them because they are just phenomenal, and I love working with JoyTunes. And then, of course, David, who has been great about setting up and testing everything and making sure everything works. And I think we've got all the bugs worked out, but hopefully we won't have any problems with anything. I really do also want to thank the development team at JoyTunes because I know I make them crazy. I am like the biggest pain in their petunias ever because I'm always contacting them about something. So I really want to thank the development team, Yoni and Alon and Lior, and of course Yigal, who's the creative director, content director. He really has been just tremendous working with. So I also want to let everybody know I'm going to be randomly selecting three super duper lucky winners. I have in my little hands, let's see if I can do that. $3, Piano Pronto, I have Supersonics A, and I have the Higgledy Piggledy Jazz that I'm going to be randomly giving out to somebody. And one extra super lucky person is going to get a JoyTunes t-shirt. So, yeah. I may be contacting you afterwards so that you can, so you guys can send me your address and I'll ship everything out to you. I know, right? Totally. Right, Allison? Yes! Yeah. And that's not even the best part of this whole webinar yet. We haven't even gotten to the best part. David is also going to be answering some of the questions that you might be asking online. Good luck, Hope. I hope you get it. So David's going to read them to me at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, you can just ask away there, and David will keep track of the questions so we can answer those. I talk really fast. We had this discussion on Piano Teacher Central. You know, how do you fit it all into 30 minutes? I just talk really fast. So watch the recording. If I go too fast, watch the recording and play it back as many times as you need to. I also have a tendency to drop my tone at the end of a sentence. I'm working on not doing that to y'all, so I am trying. But I might forget. So if that happens, just turn your volume up. Let's see. I am also, because for those of you that have attended webinars before, I'm also not going to do any screen sharing, because every time I've done screen sharing, it just lags and it wastes time, and I don't have time to do that. So I'm going to just show you my iPad. I'm going to just show you my iPad when I need to show you something. I'm just going to show it to you. Probably should unlock it so that I can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started because we got a lot. I started playing when I was 4. Dad, there's a pastor, and he always said, "I'm not going to worry about play in church. I'm just going to build my own." And so I started playing piano when I was 4 with an amazing instructor. I picked up a lot of instruments on the way. I grew up here in Texas, so in the Texas music programs in band, if you're a piano player, they usually put you in the percussion section, which means that you have to learn how to play all the percussive instruments. Since I can read bass clef, that led to, playing timpani, playing all that sort of thing. My best friend was a French horn player, and so I learned to play French horn with him so that we could do duets. And then we added another best friend, Jason, and Jason was a bass clarinet player, so I learned how to play bass clarinet, and Scott learned how to play bass clarinet, and Jason also learned how to play French horn. So we wound up doing a lot of trios together for competition. So it was a great way to kind of grow up in music, and then we just kind of added other instruments because we could. So I was offered a full music scholarship. There were 9 schools and universities that asked me to come be at their school. I, being a Texas girl, went to the school with no football team because after all those years of being a percussionist, I did not want to load another equipment truck like ever in my entire life. Ever did I want to do that. So that's how I got my education. I have a bachelor's in piano performance, but also because, as you all know, getting a degree in music means that you're in school for a long time. I also have a degree in political science, which not a lot of people know about, and so it was either be a lawyer or be a teacher, and lawyers are just very unhappy people for a lot of the time. They're just unhappy and grouchy, and I didn't ever want to be that. So here I am, music teacher, blah, blah, blah. I started my school in 1993, so it feels like a gazillion years ago. In computer terms, that's like 1,000 years ago. But I wanted to use technology as a way to set myself apart from the other teachers that were in town, and the business just kept growing and getting bigger and bigger, and wow, it's been a tremendous career. I had no idea that it was going to turn out like this. So during the time that I was starting the school and I was getting everything started, I had to learn a whole bunch about curriculum and pedagogy, which I hadn't really studied in school. Mostly it was just performance, but I went to the library, spent countless of hours studying different methodologies. I would go to the used bookstore and I would buy every method book I could get my hands on, and these great little folios that had songs that I could, put my students in. I know a lot of you do the same thing because we talk about that a lot. And so this whole Piano Maestro thing has just kind of been one of my, it feels like I'm going back to the libraries and back to the music stores and finding all this great material to work with. So I started doing all the research on methodology, and then Tom showed up in my office. And Tom was 3 years old. His mother was a friend of mine in the junior league, and she said, "You're going to teach him how to play piano." And I was like, "He's tiny. I can't do this." But I did. I figured out a way to teach Tom. He's now an attorney like his dad, and he still plays. This was a gazillion years, but he still plays. And so what I really kind of learned was that the method that you use is only as good as the teacher who uses it. So you really have to be adaptable. You have to use a lot of methods to maintain the curriculum strategy for each of your students. They can't all use the same thing. But what I like about Piano Adventures is that the music is pretty interesting. The graphics are great. Kids love the graphics. I love the pacing for the most part. I like the pacing of the series. And so, does it need a little supplementing? Yeah, it does. And we're going to talk about that. That's why we're here. So the question that I know is gonna happen here is, uh-oh, we're frozen, David. Is that something I should worry about? Somebody's frozen. Michelle is frozen. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna trust David to handle this. Why don't the FABERs have their music in the app? I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I am not on their staff, so I can't tell you. What I can tell you is that we are teachers, and we are innovative, and we are fun, and we can absolutely overcome this little obstacle. So I'm thinking maybe we should just like set up a thunderclap campaign, and I'll go into that later. A thunderclap campaign is when everyone signs up and a mass email or Twitter message goes out to one person or company from everywhere all at once, and it's like a big thunderclap, boom, of this is what we want. So I'm gonna explore that a little bit more because I think that would be a really good way of getting their attention. Maybe they'll listen to us. I don't know. But we can dream. In the meantime, Joy Tunes, as I always do, has handled a whole bunch of stuff. Handled a whole bunch of stuff for us. So we're going to get started. I'm so excited. The Joy Tunes library. The Joy Tunes library is amazing. And a lot of us don't get to go outside of, the pop songs or the TV and game themes because that's what our kids want to play. But we're going to take some time and we're going to go through all of the songs in the library. And I just want you to kind of, want you to open your mind to the fact that you don't have to be stuck in one series anymore. You can explore the full range of all of the material that's in the book. So when we start talking about this, I want to make sure that I tell you just one little thing. I'm reaching for my notes because I have to change pages. There was a time when I first started using Piano Maestro, and this was a little over a year ago. It's not very old, Piano Maestro. That I would just use it as it was a carrot. It wasn't really a teaching tool. It was just, hey, you did a great job in your lesson. I'm going to go ahead and let you play a video game for a couple of minutes. I don't do that anymore. And I'm not sure where that change kind of happened, but I don't do that anymore. Now I am using Piano Maestro for nearly every aspect of class. If I'm teaching scales, if I'm teaching intervals, I'm grabbing my iPad and saying, you know what? Let's just reinforce it a little bit more because I'm totally convinced that you do not know what you're doing, and that was just completely lucky that you just managed to sight read through that. So I find myself using it more and more. I find myself assigning a lot of home challenges to my students. Most of my students are connected, so it's really easy to do that. So I want you to consider not using Piano Maestro as just a reward for after, but as more of a I don't know, like a platform to teach from. So let's jump right into the Piano Maestro Piano Adventures mashup. Piano Adventure books are, as you know, divided into units. So when I started writing this, I decided that the books that I would write about were Level 1, Level 2A, and Level 3A. And the reason I did that was because as I read over the posts in Piano Teacher Central and the Art of Piano Pedagogy and all of the other Facebook groups, a lot of teachers start out with 1 and 2A, and then usually by 2B they're on to their own methods or they're on to more traditional literature. And if you do go on by Level 3, after I've laid this all out for you, I think you'll have a really good understanding how you can apply it to yourself and how to use it in your studio. So I can't even begin to tell you I'm really excited about this. Once we start doing this, you're going to discover that you have a whole library at your fingertips that requires 1, no dusting, 2, no organizing, and 3, no labeling. And I love that you don't have to do any of those things because I hate dusting with the passion of 1,000 suns. I hate it. So one of the places that you, the teachers who use Piano Adventures, notice that there's a big deficit in the material is in that song, The Last Hunter. In Book 1, I just heard you all groan. There's one song, that teaches the letter A in the right hand with that, move your hand over position. And I hate that because the next page, after you do the Last Hunter, the next page is 3 new notes. And there's no time for them to actually internalize that A section. So this is wrong. This is wrong. We need to fix that. And JoyTunes has a lot of material that will fix it. So that's one of the things that we're gonna talk about. Also, I know that no one would ever do this, ever. You would never make a copy of a song that had more stuff in it. But were you to do that, the odds of your students actually playing it and working on it and it not getting crumbled up in the bottom of their music bag, not so good that they're probably going to play it. Also, if they remember to bring it back, great, but most of the time they conveniently leave those at home. And if you have a book that you check out to them, you're lucky if you get that book back too. So I know that that's kind of a hard thing to do. So this is going to be so great. Let's see. Where am I in my notes? Okay, halfway through the second page. This is going to go fast, you guys. So how do you use the library during class? And I'm just going to answer that question the way I would usually do it. During class, while I'm actually teaching, I keep the library open so that I can really quickly look through the material that's available and just quick assign it as we're going through it. Sometimes I'm looking for a song that has the concepts that I'm teaching. Sometimes I'm just looking for reinforcement. Sometimes I'm looking for an exercise. Sometimes I'm looking for a scale pattern that will help them in a particular song. I know the app pretty well, having used it since it started. I went through all of the songs as they were becoming available. I'm behind right now because the summer's been crazy, but I have tried to go through all of them. I played through all of Jennifer's books when it was released. I played through all of David's books Daniel's books when they were released. I'm super excited about playing through all of Bradley's music. Elena Cobb's music is coming soon. I cannot wait for that to happen. That's going to be so cool. So that's how I kind of use it during my classes. It's a 30-minute class, so I don't have a lot of time to waste. I have to know the material pretty easily. The way I use the library for assignments, well, if you're new to Piano Maestro, once your students are connected, you pick the song that you want to assign, and you just hit the little home icon, the little house icon that's there, and bam, it shows up in their to-do list. When they open their iPad, they have a little red indicator that says, you have homework. Your teacher has assigned a home challenge, so you should probably do that. So it's really easy to do it, super duper easy. We're also going to give you a way to assign homework assignments to your students without being connected, and that's why I'm so excited, because it's really cool. So the good news is that there's lots to do. We've got a lot to cover. The bad news is that I am not typing out a sweet little document for you guys to upload and to look at and to, no. I hate paper. Those of you that know me live and like in person, I hate paper. Okay? I hate it. I absolutely hate paper. I'm only using paper because I couldn't get my iPad to scroll. So I'm using paper notes, but I didn't mean to because I hate paper. I hope you guys have your iPads ready. Do you have your iPads ready? I'm going to take a minute, let everybody get your iPad out, because this is going to be cool. So everybody, let me know if you're ready. Just send oh, Susan. Hope loves to write with paper. Yes, Hope, we got to talk. You can't, no, paper is bad. Okay, so everybody force quit your JoyTunes, your Piano Maestro. Force quit it, shut it down, reinstall, get it ready. Because when you update your iPad today, oh, you're using your iPad for the meeting. Okay, Annalise, you just remember to do this step later, okay? When you reopen it, you are going to notice in the library, in the methods section of the library, that they have added what they are calling the JoyTunes method match. And hello, this is super great because all the work that I did for our webinar is conveniently located on your iPad, divided out by the units that Piano Adventures has, loosely based on the units that Piano Adventures has created. So as soon as mine loads up, I'll show you what it looks like, although that screen is really, really bright. Wow. Let me see if I can turn my screen down a bit so it's not so... there we go. You'll be able to see that a little bit better. Mine is loading as we speak. Mine is loading. So again, what I love about the fact that they were kind enough to put it in the app for us is that there's no paper involved. I don't have to keep a list. It's set up by those different units. I wanted to just take a minute to kind of go over why I made some of the choices that I made for you. And then, of course, if you want to edit later, we can talk about editing it. So here we are. Again, I'm not going to screen share because it never works and it takes too long. So this is my class that I'm working with, and I'm going to go to the library, and I'm going to methods. And right here, under the Alfred Premier Series, you are going to see 3 books. Level 1, Level 2A, and Level 3A. Yay! Hello! Yay! There's nowhere for me to download. I don't understand why I see the app, but there's nowhere for me to download. Now, all you have to do is close the app by double-tapping the home button. We call it the belly button at my house. So I slip and call it a belly button. That's what I mean. It's the home button. Double tap it twice and slide Piano Maestro up to the top of the screen, and that will close it, and then reopen it from your main menu. Mine won't open after this update. Oh, no. Okay, some of you are getting it. Some of you are still getting it. Okay, we'll be online a little bit to help those people who can't do it. Okay, getting a lot. I'm gonna keep moving because I want to make sure we have enough time for this. Marilyn, didn't see it. Okay, keep trying. It was released last night. Actually, I think it was released last night, so it should be there. If for those of you that have it, go ahead and you'll notice right away. Go ahead and open Level 1. You'll notice right away that the method match is labeled a little differently than the books, and the reason I did that was because I felt like even though in the first unit of Level 1, the students are supposed to be learning, it's supposed to be a review, they are actually still learning that low C position, and I felt like they just needed more reinforcement there. Doing, Mexican jumping beans is great, but that's really an exercise, and they need more material. And so the music that I selected from the JoyTunes library, Apologize, the exercises, Lightly Row, Frere Jacques, all of those songs are songs that use all of those notes a lot more. And I got to tell you, they're more likely to play the game than they are for you to hand them a piece of music and say, why don't you play this at home, sweetie? They'll do the game. It's organized like this so that those of your students who are not connected to you, even if they're in that unit, will be able to do all of those and progress through those songs that are in that section. There's only a couple of places where that's going to be a little problematic, and you, the teacher, are going to have to step in and say, oh, no, you can't do that one yet. We haven't learned all those notes. No. So I want to make sure that we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I do want you to know that this is right, Chris. That's what I'm saying. This is so amazing. Found what level? We're actually, Christina, we're talking about Level 1 right now. That's the one that we're going to look at. So if you want to go through and just kind of go through all the units, there aren't very many. I'm at Unit 5, sharps. You've got your tonic and dominant. We don't talk enough about tonic and dominant. So in Unit 7, you've got some songs there. Unit 8, you've got your C chord. Unit 9, piano pronto kind of explodes all over your screen. So that's really great that we can pull all of that in there. And then in Unit 10, when they start talking about G position and G scales, and we've got the 3 different places to do G, there was a lot of material for that. And so I really feel like we don't get enough of that to stabilize their learning process. So I love that we have all this extra material to work through. If you'll go ahead and move over to, holy cow, is it 10:30 already? If you'll go back and go to level 2A, I want to start with Unit 2. I just want to talk to you really briefly about Unit 2. Unit 1 is about eighth notes. Y'all know how to teach eighth notes. I'm not worried about you guys teaching eighth notes. This is a great way for them to get some extra practice, getting the timing exactly right on eighth notes. Of course, you've explained it. They've got some static music that doesn't move. But then they also have this, and this is really helpful for them to really find and internalize that that metronome, their own personal metronome. So the bunch of songs there, I mean, there's a bunch of songs in there. And you all only really put in, I think, like 9. And there were something like 32 songs on that list. So you'll find other ones. You can add them to your own personal list if you want to. But let's talk about transposition, the Unit 2 transposition. And this is a new feature that Pam, I will answer your question in just a second. I swear I will answer your question in a second. It's in my notes. I actually have that in my notes. Unit 2 is about transposing. And in the books, in FABER's books, you have the one song that's like 2 lines long, and then underneath it's the same song but in a different key. And I think it's like ice cream or something. And ice cream cone. I don't know, something like so. It has something to do with ice cream. And I like that. Usually I have the students play it, and then I cover the keyboard keys, and I have them and close their eyes. And I place their hands on the keyboard, and I have them play the lower version of that song, the G version of that song, without looking at their hands while their keys are covered. And then I move the key cover, and I say, see, you just did this in G position. Yay, you can transpose. And that's pretty much all that FABER does with transposing. The comments at the bottom of the book are suggestions, of course, for you to use as you teach. So I think the flying kite is also, they say, why don't you try transposing this in the key of G? Yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Some of your students will, most of your students will not do it. The way JoyTunes has done transposing, and I love this, is in the library, each of the songs has a key label in the bottom corner of the song choice. Now, in the guide that I wrote, I only put these 3 songs in here so that you can look for them in the library, because in the library is in the actual, like, here, whoa, where's my, there we go. Here is where we're going to, and I'm going to pull up Angry Birds. For those of you that have never used this feature, okay, hold on. I'm going to turn it around so I can see what I'm typing. Oh, not Angry Birds. Angry Birds. There we go. Okay, so see here in Angry Birds, in the bottom corner, it says 3 keys. Everybody hit that box. When you hit that box, you see the spot where it says A minor, 3 stars, and there's a drop down arrow. Drop down arrow. Okay, hit the drop down arrow. And when you hit the drop down arrow, you see the 3 keys that it's available in: A minor, E minor, and D minor. This is, the songs that are in there are just a couple of the songs that do this. So when you're looking in the library for a song, we haven't yet figured out a way to show you just a list of the songs that are transposed and what keys they're in. We haven't done that yet, but we're working on it. So don't worry, that'll come eventually. It just wasn't ready in the 10 days that we had to get to set up. So it's kind of cool if you have a student who's done it in A minor, but they're learning a new key, they're doing F or whatever, then you can have them go back and do Angry Birds in another key. And this happens all throughout the app. It happens all throughout the library. So in the method match guide, because that's what I'm talking about, the method match guide, some of the songs are in there just as placement reminders for you to remember that that option is available. Let me try that again in English. In the actual method match section, unit section, they don't give you the options to to transpose within that section. You have to go back to the main library and find those particular songs. But again, that's because there was no way for us to organize them within the method match book by which keys were available. So we're working on it. It's not ready yet, but we're working on it. Let me see. Okay, done with that. All right, moving on to Unit 3. Let's look at Unit 3. Valerie does not like the Angry Birds theme, and I don't blame her. It's one of my personal non-favorites as well. Anyway, so for Unit 3, there's the FABER books call it phrasing. It's basically pulling the melody line out of a song. What I did here, the songs that I included here are mostly just right-hand songs. This is one of those places where you, the teachers who are genius teachers, you guys have the opportunity to teach them how to phrase using kind of a game. It's not, obviously the Music Sense engine, which is awesome and can totally read a ton of information, still isn't able to read nuancing and lyricism and that kind of thing. So you, the teacher, have to do that. But if it's an easy enough melody, and the songs that are in the phrasing section are super, super nice melodies that you can really teach them to sing in. So I put those there just because I want you to have something to work with. But you're not going to get phrasing actually out of the app because the app can't do that yet. So I wonder if I could just, what? Oh, I want to read your comments, and I can't read your comments and do this discussion all at the same time. David, I hope you're taking notes because I want to read all the comments. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I have a really cute joke in here about how it's never about the stars, but it really is all about the stars. That's all I care about when I'm playing. I really want the stars. Chris, the phrasing is in Unit, what is that? Unit 3 of Book 2. Unit 3, Book, Method Match, Book 2, where it says phrase. Let's see, where am I here? Unit 7 in that same book is 5-finger minor positions. Anytime you're teaching those, you've got a list of songs here that you can do that with. All kinds of different genres of music are in that one. So you've got the minor positions. I know I tend to categorize my students into, you're either a minor person or you're a major person, and you prefer to play those different types of songs. I am a major person. I prefer to play things in major. But I have a lot of students who like the minor stuff. So this is where I am going to go for them because I tend to delete that out of my stuff. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, also in the minor thing, I wanted you to notice that I put a wide range of difficulty in that minor section because I wanted you to have the option of saying, okay, I'm introducing this for the first time, so we're going to do the easy stuff. But when you come back to it at level 2B or in level 3 or level 3B, you can go back to these minor pieces and say, these are a little bit harder. Let's reinforce what we did before and do it again, or maybe just a really quick review for them to use. So there's a wide range of difficulty within that 5-finger minor positions, just so that you would have some options within your teaching stuff. Let's see, and then I skipped level 2B. I know there was a question about that. I saw it just briefly. There was a question about level 2B and why I skipped it. The reason I skipped it is because level 3A starts where level 2B it's a big chunk, basically, of level 2B is doing 3 keys. You're doing C major, G major, and what's the other one? C, G, and somebody help me out. I have this. I had it somewhere. C, G, and F. There we go. F. Oh, somebody says that it's because I'm a band person that I like major music. No, I think it's just because I'm a happy person, really, actually. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't like minor stuff ever. Anyway, oh, now my hair went weird. Sorry, fixing my hair. So in level 3A, when you start level 3A, so if you'll go to the method match book at 3A and you look at Unit 1, you will see there is a ton of music there, tons of it. And the reason that's all there is because those are all the songs that are in the key of C, key of G, and key of F. And as a teacher, if you know that they're all kind of grouped together, you can just go over there and grab what you need because you know it's there, rather than try to search through the library for what is in whichever key. So I kind of skipped B to B because I felt like level 3A, the first unit, covered a lot of that material. So I didn't do a 2B book for that. Let's see. In level 3A, Unit 2, the 7th, there's 3 songs in there. Those are just to kind of, again, remind you that the 7ths are in there. Some of these are just, to get the feel of it. Some of them are embedded within the song. There's probably more than that, but those are the ones like it's right there in your face. Unit 3 was really kind of a hard unit to categorize and to find material for. Unit 3 is about 3/8 and 6/8 time, and Jennifer has a song in there, and Joy Tunes has a song in there, and then there's Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones is not in either of the 2 time signatures that are explained in the FABER book. But I thought, you know what, it's in 6/4, and it's a good way for us to revisit the theory behind time signatures, especially at this level, where they don't even really look at the time signature anymore because it doesn't mean anything. And so I put that Game of Thrones song in there. It's not a hard song to play, but it is in 6/4, so it looks a little funny for what they're normally used to. So I put it in there just so that you could have that review discussion of what time signatures are, because a lot of times they don't really conceptualize it well, and so I wanted to make sure I put that in there. Okay, so you know what? 10:40. I did it. Okay, I went really fast, and I know there were some technical issues in there. I think that's pretty much it. I hope that you'll take some time to kind of play around with the method match books. I don't know, before you ask, I don't know if they're planning more of these. I can't imagine why they wouldn't plan more of these. It seems like there's a real need for this. And again, when I was talking to Joy Tunes about putting this together, I said, we have a 30-minute class, or most of us have a 30-minute class. And in those 30 minutes, we have to cram an enormous amount of stuff into. So I love that, everything is so touch-friendly. I just push it and everything goes. But basically, you're looking at 0.8 seconds per action in the app. And so I hope that this will help you guys really a lot with your planning. You can do a lot of this stuff as you go through your lesson planning. You can assign right from whatever unit you happen to be in. I think that will be really helpful for a lot of teachers who don't necessarily have time to go through the entire library. I really want to just, say thank you so much for coming today, and I really, really, really appreciate if you guys have any additional songs that you want to see put into a particular section, let me know. David will give everybody my email. Everybody has my email anyway. I don't know why I'm even bothering saying that. But if you have any questions, I'm going to stick around for a little bit and talk to you guys about questions. If you want to help me edit, knock yourself out, edit, because, I'm always open to hearing other people's opinions. Just kidding. Anyway, so thank you again for coming. And, Halloween songs. I don't know anything about Halloween songs, but check out Daniel McFarlane's books because he has a lot of really, really cool stuff in there. Just a few things here to clean up house a little bit. I want to again thank Joy Tunes for doing this for us and just really making this whole app just better than anything I could possibly have ever imagined when I downloaded it for the first time. I mean, I'll think back to that day when I did it and I thought, this is kind of cute, and how it has completely transformed the way my studio runs. So it's been such a great trip to take with them. So I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity to share it with you. And now you all have a voice that you're probably going to hear in your nightmares for years now, to go with the snarky comments that I usually post on the Facebook pages. So if David's gonna give me a list, and I will have my little daughter cut them all into little pieces, and we'll do a random drawing for who is gonna win the T-shirt and the 3 books. And for those of you that need it, the link will be available sometime this afternoon, I think. So David will send that. You'll get an email from David, I think. Is that right, David? They'll get an email from you. Oh, David's back on. I'm not here by myself. You'll get an email that will have all the whole webinar again, so that you can hear the parts that are important to you again. I really, again, really so appreciative to David for doing this and for helping me through it. And I'm not going to be sick anymore, so this is good. I'm going to shut up now, David.
Becky, thank you so much. What a wonderful resource to use. I'm a Piano Adventure user. I also use Alfred's Piano course, by the way. All great material, because if you're just sticking with one method, you might be missing some great songs, right?
Yep.
So I was going to add this. We're going to give away a set of Premier Piano Course books as well.
Becky wants to win.
High five. Okay, so with that said, this is how you're going to find out if you won. Go to the JoyTunes Facebook group. Becky, we need a link to that. Or let's see, who's out there that could post the link to the Facebook page? Linda, could you do that for us? Linda's going to post in the feed a resource that you can go to on the Facebook group. She already posted one that's called joytunes.com/resources. Look for that one. And Linda just posted the JoyTunes Teachers group. Join that group if you're not a JoyTunes teacher already. Becky, let's do some questions and answers maybe. Do you have a few minutes?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to give a big shout out to Amy Gervin. I've been on the phone with her all week, well, not all week, but for a bit this week, and she's totally awesome, and I completely love her. And so I just want to say shout out to Amy. Hey!
All right. So if you have any questions, type them in the feed. If you don't have questions, no worries. Not a problem. Maybe you need to explore the app for a while before you have any more questions, but feel free to ask away if you have any.
Nothing? Got nothing? Release date for Android. I don't know that one. They don't tell me that one.
We don't know that.
Nicole says the songs for boys. Check out Daniel McFarlane's Supersonic Piano. And let me just say this. The Supersonic piano music that's in the book is different than the Supersonic piano music that's in the app. And the reason for that is technical. So I'm going to explain to you what happens there, because if you're just using Daniel McFarlane's Supersonic piano books in the app, you are losing out, because the app is not able to do glissandos and grace notes and stuff. He had to strip it down to nothing. So when you use the McFarlane stuff, here's what you have to do. You have to teach it in the app first, because that's where they learn rhythm and notes and all the technical stuff. But then you use it with the book, and that's where all the decorating happens. And so they really get an opportunity to dig deep and get their hands really dirty into the songs. I did not realize that until I actually got the McFarlane books, and I was like, wait a minute, this is not in the app? What? And that's why. It's because they can't do glissandos and they can't do, trills and whatnot. But all of that music is in there in the literature. So I would really encourage you to get a copy of his books so that you can see that. You can see that with the kids. Playing the wedding.
So questions are coming in so fast now that I can't. I've already missed some. So have you considered in the app having higher levels than 3B? What do you know about that, Becky?
I don't know a whole lot about that. I do know that when Higgledy Piggledy Jazz goes in, it's going to be a little bit higher level than what we have had so far. So look forward to that. It is something that they're trying to address. They're trying to increase the polyphony, and polyphony is how many notes can be registered at one time. they're still working on that. I mean, let's face it, guys, the app is only a year old. So what we've got now is pretty astounding, and I'm sure they're just going to keep working on it. Again, I am a pain in the petunia for the development team. They pretty much look at me and go, Becky, stop asking us these questions. Please stop it. We have work to do. So I don't know what the timeline is on that, but I'm sure it's coming. I mean, sky's the limit on this one, so I'm sure they're going to keep working on that.
Okay. Next question. Does Supersonics have a primer level? I don't know, but Daniel's giving a webinar next month.
Oh, okay. Great. Daniel's music is not so much a method as it is supplemental music to whatever method you're using. So his level, the Supersonics book A that's in the app, that's in Piano Maestro, is it's not like the first primer level book, because I wouldn't put any of my students in that book until they've at least finished, and since this is your favorite method, until they've at least finished book 1 of the FABER method. I wouldn't put them in that until after they finished book 1, just because the book starts out with sharps and crazy, wacky rhythms. I would wait probably for that one. Books A and B in the McFarlane music are really, they're really more for your people who've been playing for several years. Before I wouldn't use those for primer baby students at all.
Good answer.
Trying to read.
Next question. Any idea if other publishers, such as Hal Leonard, plan to join Piano Maestro?
You know, Thunderclap campaign. Let's get on that, JoyTunes. Let's just do that, because I really think we need to get the publishing houses' attention. And I'm sure that their question is going to be, well, teachers are going to stop buying books. No, we're not going to stop buying books, because not every student has an iPad, and I can't write on my iPad. I can't write my notes for that particular student on an iPad. I need to have a book so I can write it on the book for them to take home and study. So I don't know. We need to get like a JoyTunes Thunderclap team together. Maybe Marta will let us do that. But anyway, I don't have an answer to that one really. Sorry.
What we do know though is that they're consistently adding new music. Elena Cobb, her music's going to be out soon. So there's always lots of new content coming in.
Yes, lots of new content.
Going down to the list.
Yes, Katie, I agree with you. They should be getting a cut from those publishers. Yes, absolutely.
One question is about subscription that I saw someone asking. If students are connected to teachers, is it free for them? Yes, it is. Someone else asked about how to connect them. If you go to joytunes.com/resources, joytunes.com/resources, you are going to find out how to connect to your students and how to have them connect to you if they want to do it from their end. You don't have to do it on both ends. You just look at the tutorials. I created some videos on that should be helpful, and if they're not, let me know so I can fix them.
Thank you, Jeremy, for the kind words. I really appreciate them. I really appreciate them. It's my first webinar, so it's a little crazy.
Becky, you did awesome. You're very personable. Do you know anything about refunds for those that had the subscription before they went free? Yes. Email, and Linda already answered that actually. Refund at joytunes.com. Joytunes.com. Isn't that amazing? Free for teachers?
I still get weepy when I think about it. I
appreciate JoyTunes for seeing a bigger value to the app and realizing that the power behind connecting to teachers is much more valuable than sending us all a monthly bill. I appreciate that. It's very helpful. So,
my parents really appreciate that they don't have to add that to their iTunes account and their monthly expenses and whatnot. I really cannot believe. I can't believe that they did it. I just can't. I get weepy. Okay, we're gonna not talk about that anymore. No more questions about that because I can't talk about it. Echo questions about 3 stars when playing doesn't reflect the level of accuracy. And sometimes that's a function of someone singing the pitches. Sometimes it's a function of the noise in the room. I don't know. I don't notice it so much in the upper levels as I do in the lower levels. And in the lower levels, I wonder if they don't just do it so that students can build some confidence in using the app. But in the upper levels, I mean, if you play it wrong, it's wrong. It's just plain wrong. So I don't know if that question, I don't know if that answers the question, one, and two, I don't know if there's anything that actually we can do about that. I don't know.
Yes, there is, Becky. Something that we can do as teachers, and I've run into that before, where a student will play through a piece, they'll get 3 stars, they got all the notes right, but their hand position or their technique was just awful, and that's why JoyTunes is not replacing the teacher, they're a tool for the teacher. There's a pause button. It's a beautiful thing. If you hit pause and they say, all right, let's practice this section. In fact, now we can rewind and fast forward and practice difficult sections and practice doing it correctly with, make sure there's legato. I notice a lot of times all the kids just punch out the notes like it's a video game controller. And so with a little bit of help from the teacher, I've noticed that they're now playing more musical inside of the app.
Let's see. Somebody asked about locked songs. I just want to make sure that I clarify how that works, because there's locked and then there's unaccessible. Before, when the app was still subscription based, you had to subscribe to have that other content accessible. But for teachers who are just now coming into the app, please know that just because there's a little lock on the song doesn't mean that you don't have access to the song. It means you haven't earned the right to play that song yet. So students have to actually do the work to actually open up that section of the chapter or of the journey. And so they can still play those songs if they find them in the library, but in the journey, they have to earn the right to move on. It's the leveling up system that the gamers have put in place for the students, for the users to use. And yes, teachers if you're playing it and you're a teacher, you have to unlock those levels too. Now, I will, having said that, there is a fast forward button up in the right corner of the journey screen that will let you, and you have to get 3 stars. It's really all or nothing. You got to score 90% or better on timing and notation before you can move on, because you have to know the content of those in-between chapters. But you can skip all the way up to, I think it's like, isn't it like chapter 27, David, that you can skip up to? And then you have to do the work for the remaining chapters. But you can open it up for yourself very easily.
That's correct. You can. What I've noticed is that with those students that are just wanting to get ahead, if they'll fast forward, they don't have any problem, they're not frustrated by it. But I've also just told some students, why not play them anyway? Let's see how good you really are at the piano. And then they take it as a challenge, and of course they breeze right through them, but they're still doing them, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
My students, what I find is that they're such perfectionists that they don't like seeing all those empty little star sections back there. And so they do it on their own. I don't even have to assign it. They're like, oh, it just bothers me to not have stars everywhere. And so they just do it on their own. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that too. The keyboard kickoff book, I don't know when it's scheduled for release, but I do know that it started they started putting it in. So I'm sure Jennifer will let us know as soon as she can. About when the actual release date is. And of course, Marta will tell us too. The kids are earning a play. Oh, cool. I love your idea, Allison. That is great.
Oh, that was a private message to presenters. So, Becky, tell us about Allison's idea.
Sorry, Allison wrote, as the prize for my practice incentive, the kiddos are earning a play your lesson day. And so far, every kid plans to use Piano Maestro for their entire free lesson plan, not play. So they have to earn the right to play Piano Maestro, or to have a free, they're going to decide, am I getting that right, Allison? They decide what they do for that lesson, and most of them are choosing to play Piano Maestro for their free choice lesson. That's really cool.
A really smart teacher too. You're going to enjoy that day. That'll be a good day for you, Allison.
Well, you're just Allison, you're just gonna get to sit there and have a good time. I mean, you know, you just get to sit there and say, dude, that was not good. We have to do that again. That's gonna be so great. Oh, I love it. Sneaky education. I love that. Totally love that. Any other questions, David? Oh, Debbie is asking, what kind of cable do I need to use to connect the iPad to my digital keyboard? David actually has a whole like YouTube video, don't you, David, on how to do that?
No, that's my project that's due today, is to do the MIDI today. So I'm going to make that video tonight. I really don't think I'm going to get it done by tonight, so I'm going to move my due date back a day. But here are some of the cables you'll be seeing in that video. So the new iPads have this fancy little thing called a lightning connector. Okay, so what you're going to need is this lightning connector adapter. On one side, it's USB. The other side, it's the lightning. Then you're going to get now the next cable depends on your keyboard. New keyboards now no longer use the two MIDI prongs with like the 15 pins each. It now just uses a simple printer cable that's square USB to the rectangle USB. These can be found at Radio Shack. If you ask for a printer cable, this is what they'll give you.
Let me just say, monoprice.com, MONOPRICE, monoprice.com, best prices on cable, super fast too.
Probably like a fifth of the cost of Radio Shack, but yeah, it's cheap at Monoprice. So you put them together, put this in the iPad, put this in the back of the piano. You might need a different cable. Look out for the video. I'll be posting it on the JoyTunes Facebook page later this week. And then, of course, then just put on headphones on the kid, and they're playing it silently at the lab time. So.
Okay, I'm gonna hit up Jeff. Asked a question, so I'm gonna type that in. It's MON. Okay, I'm gonna try to type that in. There we go. MONOPRICE.com. There we go. Oh, you did it too. Yours is faster than mine.
Oh, good. Great website for all sorts of cables, electronics, anything. It's helpful.
Any other questions? I'm so glad you guys were here. Thank you so much. Oh, Karen, you're gonna need to download the update. It might be easier for you just to delete the app altogether and reinstall it and re-log in to make sure that you get the completely updated version. Deleted and reinstalled. Okay, Karen, this is not good, Karen. You may need to.
Becky, when they first register their account, they have to answer if they're a teacher or not. If for some reason that step was missed, that would make them have to pay for it. So she needs to re-register, I think. I don't know what's in there.
You get that, Karen? You have to maybe re-register.
Yeah.
And make sure that you're logging in as a teacher. That you tell JoyTunes that you are a teacher.
And then
she's a teacher too. Send a support ticket to Marta, or send a support ticket to JoyTunes and have them look at it.
They do that because they might just automatically mark you as a teacher by doing that. So inside the app, go to Parents and Teachers Zone in the top right corner, and then click Support, and you'll type in a little message telling them you're a teacher, tell them the problem you're having, click Submit, and they will get back to you within 24 hours.
Connecting your own students. Okay, that one is that's kind of a tricky one because you have to actually hack JoyTunes to do that. If you will go to the JoyTunes teacher page, Nicole Douglas did a really good little paragraph on if you're a teacher and your own children want to use the Home Challenge app assignment feature. She's got a really great little how to do that if you're a teacher. So if you use a different email, that's great. It works, but there is a hack for you to be able to work around that too. Is this the answer for Angry Bird? What? Oh, thank you, Lori. Nicole's going to post it on to the top of the group, the JoyTunes teacher group, I think, right now. which will be great. It's really helpful.
Thank you, Nicole.
Any other questions? Are we done? Did you get it all? Are you people so exciting? I'm so excited. I cannot tell you, I'm so excited. Linda. Yes. Go ahead, David.
Linda asked, can two students in the same family use the same email, or is it too confusing for them? The answer is that they should use the same email. They don't have to, but it makes it easier because what happens is underneath an email login account, you can have multiple profiles. You can have 100 if you wanted to. So under the family umbrella, all the kids and parents are below them. Even cousins that come to visit can be underneath that same umbrella. Then when you log into Piano Maestro, they'll always be there and you won't have to re-log in. If the kids use different emails, they'll have to log out and log in every single time they want to play Piano Maestro to get to their account. So once you have a family account under one email, inside of that account you can start adding just simply names, if that makes sense. What does that mean?
Yeah, I try to keep all my kids under the same email anyway, and that really is helpful for the share the moment feature because it just goes to one parent. It doesn't go to each kid. So I love that. I absolutely love that. Linda, I don't know how it's going to affect the weekly reports. I hope that we just get to see more of what they're doing in that section. And the Angry Birds section that I talked about, that's in the song part of the library. It's when you open up the library for the very first time and you look at the three menus where it says songs, exercises, and methods, you have to open Angry Birds from the song section. So go to songs, search Angry Birds, and you'll see the song box, the song title box come up, and that's where you'll see the three keys that it's available in. It doesn't show that way in the method match guide because, again, we didn't want to confuse everybody with this song is available in, A minor when we haven't introduced that in the actual book yet. So that's how you're going to find the transposing features. And you can do that in a lot of the songs. There's quite a few that you can do that with. And the answer to Samantha's question, parents don't get the weekly report. No, they do not get the weekly report. Only teachers get that. Still planning on doing the draw. Oh, I'm going to do the drawing after the webinar is done, and I pick up my daughter from school. So it will be later this afternoon before you find out. Keep you on the edge of your seats. Hello. So yeah, I will get that done this afternoon.
Jeremy, your question about Piano Maestro, it is free for teachers and for their connected students. So if students don't connect to you, yeah, they'll have to pay. So make sure that you connect to their email. Once again, to learn how to connect to a student, that can be found at joytunes.com. How do we get the weekly report from Marilyn? That should be sent to your email automatically. If it is not, email Marta, M-A-R-T-A, at joytunes.com, and let her know you're not receiving the weekly report. They can reset that for you. How to get your name in the hat for the drawings? Because you attended, we'll have a printout list of all teachers that logged on to this meeting. You all qualify. Thanks for being here.
You're all in. Yes, thank you again so much. Share the moment. Oh, somebody asked about share the moment. This is cool. This is a relatively new feature where if they get their 3 stars after they play a song, and you know, teachers, you have to be really careful that you don't talk during their performances. Because the app will record their performance, and then you can email that recording and a picture, if you want, to the parents right after. It's really, really, really neat. A lot of my parents are getting them and then sending them off to grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and everybody so that everybody can share the moment, not just the parents. So I really like that. Taking the picture is kind of cool.
If you want to feature in your area and have the best word of mouth, use the share the moment feature. Because parents that have been seeing that are like, they think it's the coolest thing ever. It's way more interesting than lesson notes, which they don't usually read anyway. They see what their kids are working on and they get to hear them play and then get to see the fun picture. Sometimes I started getting in the picture with them. That's kind of fun. We'll pose together and then send that to mom and dad. And mom and dad can instantly see that lessons are fun for that child. And that's the message that I want to send. So.
Yes. Okay, teachers. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I love that we can go on Facebook and it's our water cooler and we can just kind of vent and chill out, and it's great. It's great to have such a large community of music teachers available as a resource too. I love that.
Share the Moment is not available underneath the students' names. How it works is that when they get 3 stars on a song, it automatically pops up. If it doesn't, it's a button on the left right after the song ends. It'll say Share the Moment. That's after a song is played.
I love this. You can spark the water cooler with Kool-Aid, and for those of you that see me on Facebook, you know my spike drink of choice is vodka. I have students who drive me to vodka. But yeah, no. Again, thank you guys for coming. There's so many of you that are having to get off and go on to classes, and I get that. I had to take some time off this morning to do so I wouldn't miss anybody. But thank you again so much for coming. And I'm around, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm always on Facebook. I don't sleep much. I'm always on Facebook. Donna, stop it. Just stop it. I know. I don't sleep much. But thank you so much. And again, have a great day teaching and enjoy this amazing new tool that Joy Tunes just gave us. Yay!
All right. If you have any questions that were not answered, let us know on that Facebook group. We'll make sure they're answered for you. Everyone have a great day today. And Becky, thank you again for coming today.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.